All right, Alex. Well, it's time to learn Mandarin, my friend, because apparently everyone is switching over to the yuan.
Okay.
Yuan.
When you say everyone, who's everyone?
Well, there's a little thing that's been going on actually since 2001. They call it the new b.r.i.c.s nation. It's an acronym. Actually, the acronym didn't even stand for Brazil, Russia, South America,
So
China.
Yeah, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yeah. So actually, you know what's crazy is that the term was coined by Jim O'Neill, who is actually an economist over at Goldman Sachs. And this has actually been going on since 2001. So it's not like all of a sudden, China and Russia and India, they're just like, oh man, they're all going to take over and, not use the US dollar anymore. This has been going on since like 2001.
So how come we're just now hearing about it in the public eye?
Because, dude, we got too much going on. We got Trump going to jail. We got trains exploding. We got racism everywhere. And, no one's got time for this, Alex. It doesn't. Who cares? We're all going to switch over to a digital currency. The Fed's making their new Bitcoin. And everything's going to be controlled on your phone. Like, I don't got time for this. Like, I think Kim K's getting remarried. Like, who cares?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be slaves forever. About Hollywood and the media.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is that you always got to remember that China is in it for the long game, always. China's always in it for the long game. And the biggest countries I think that we actually have to fear joining this is the biggest countries I think everyone's super afraid of, what's going on. But I think China, India, and Russia. I'm not really worried about South Africa. I'm not really worried about Brazil. Apparently, Mexico wants to join. I think that would hurt us and give more power to China later over time. Because I think I was reading that Mexico is going to be China's basically their number one importer at this point. Because if you think about it, what does Brazil really have to offer? But India, I think that's going to be a tough one. Saudi Arabia just said, we don't really care about your oil anymore. Who else was it that just came out and said we don't need to use the currency anymore? I saw something on that.
Well, let's talk about this. So let's talk about this. You have countries like Brazil and South Africa that are, teaming up and jumping on board with this. Mm-hmm. What would be the result of them joining international superpowers that could increase trade? Yep. Give them other supplies, and basically effectively cut America out?
I think it just makes it so we are not in charge anymore. They're trying to break. I feel like it's kind of because the dollar is backed by the euro, and we have basically the most currency circulating the world right now. Mm-hmm. Our dollar matters the most when you go anywhere in the world. And so when you look at how powerful our dollar is, I feel like the dollar, it's like when somebody, I asked someone, what makes the dollar so powerful? I was asking this one guy at a conference. He's like a really smart financial advisor, economic guy. And I go, what makes the dollar actually powerful? And he said, the vote. He goes, if me and you say, pennies are now, if the whole market crashes, and me and you decide that, pennies and quarters and things that are tangible, those are the new most powerful currencies. And that's what we're going to use for, our neighborhood, our currency, our country.
Our communities.
Yeah. We all agree that $1 is $1, a 5 is a 5, a 10 is a 10. He goes, and when everyone else agrees, it's kind of like with Bitcoin. There's no difference. We all know Bitcoin has the highest value because more people use it. And me, you, this guy over here, this guy in this country, we all agree that, yeah, it's worth this much. So we're going to trade with this. And then other ones come in and they're not as powerful because they don't have as many people trading it and saying, it's kind of like a popularity contest when you think about it. So we used to be backed by gold until the 70s, and then we got off the gold standard. Well, gold backed our dollar, and who had the most gold?
Us.
Who's holding it? The Federal Reserve's holding all the gold. well, it is kind of weird that Turkey and all these places just bought like tens and billions of dollars worth of gold as our dollar is collapsing. But we'll get into that later.
So
it's just going to break, I think, and I'm an idiot. So these are just things that I understand.
Yeah,
I feel
this is not an area of expertise of mine.
Yeah, I'm not a financial advisor or anything.
But it does
we are not
concern
doctors.
us.
We are not financial advisors. These are just things that I watch and listen to, and that from what I understand, and I just have questions. So, and that is true. Like, what happens? Like, what is the agenda here? Is it that everyone is just tired of being told what to do, being under our powerhouse? We control the trades. We make the agreements happen. This country relies on us. We got NATO, a military source, and everyone pretty much is just like, you know what? I'm tired of you guys. I'm tired of these ridiculous deals. I'm tired of you telling him where he can trade and what I can't do. And China's probably like, all right, even though you guys kind of built us up in the 90s and gave us all your jobs and labor, it's time for us to go over here because we're kind of done with you guys.
I mean, isn't that like the American mentality though? They don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah, but we're in charge. Everyone hates the guy in charge, right?
Well,
I feel like I'm watching Game of Thrones right now. Every time I turn on the news, everyone's just like, all right, the North and the South, and these people are teaming up with these people.
Yep.
Where does your loyalty lie? And it's like, all right, well, we're going to attack you then.
Well, I mean, all things considered, would you want to be loyal to America?
I would. I mean, if I was another country, I would definitely.
The U.S. government.
I don't think you'd have a choice. I mean, look at Canada, for example. They don't even have a military. We protect them. Well, their taxes are lower, and they don't have a military budget, dude. We protect you. Must be nice. And at the same time, Canada's like, hey, we're taking all the pistols and rifles, and we're just gonna start taking all your rights slowly but surely. And they already don't have freedom of speech. People say they do, but they don't. So good luck with that.
Well, when I look at these countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, what is that? 2/3 of the world's population right there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Not only that, you have Russia, India, and, if you get South Africa, I wonder how long it'd be until Africa actually does unite. And a lot of people, I mean, look at, General Gaddafi. A lot of people were afraid of a unified Africa because of the natural resources that they had. If Africa was not a third world country, and if Africa was united and was a first world country, which some countries in Africa are very nice, very beautiful.
Well, a lot of resources too, right?
The resources that they have, they would be...
What do they have that we need right now with all the oil going to shit?
I mean, they have a lot of things that we need. Almost, you mean diamonds, gold,
well, I mean,
labor,
what's this run off of?
Our phones.
What's my future
cobalt,
Tesla going to run off of?
Cobalt.
We might need them in the future.
Yeah, and now if they're joining the powerhouses, and if China's going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, China's one of the biggest suppliers of EV. I mean, I'm in the solar industry, and China panels.
Yeah, they own like 90% of all the those pockets of where they're pulling it all out of the ground, right?
So
they got this. I mean, even if you go to Hawaii, like you feel like you're in China. Like China owns big pockets of South Africa. I mean, they're building trains. I mean, they're building like small cities and infrastructure in South Africa like right now. So, and to me, that's kind of the issue because, like I said, they play that long game. They're gonna.
Yeah, when I see that, I see you have 2/3 of the world's population. You have numbers. Now, not everybody in China, from my understanding, loves China. They have the social credit system. Not everybody's
they don't have
happy
human
about
rights.
that.
They don't like human rights, and
a lot of these are dictator countries. Although America,
we think we have it hard here.
Doesn't
being over there, and they're just like, "Shut up."
Yeah, I'd really like to go visit China and actually, visit some of the provinces over there and really get a feel for it. Dude,
I'm sure the history is just amazing. It's kind of like when people hear about Fresno.
China's one of the richest cultures that are still walking the land.
Yeah, but it just sucks that what their government did. Just the CCP and they have total control of, I mean, they've got more cameras than people at this point, just watching everything you do.
Yep.
If you were out at those protests during the COVID lockdowns, when they were locking the doors on hotels and people were just dying in their hotel, or not hotels, apartments. They look like hotels. They're just smashed inside those things. It's weird, man. And the Chinese people got tired of it, just like in Japan. You know, look what happened in Japan with those huge riots, and people were done. They were just like, we're done with this, man.
Yep.
You can't force us to do this. You can't force us to do that. I mean, they're not too far off from North Korea, which is insanity. Like, they don't even have access to the internet. Like, they control everything over there. That is some scary shit.
Let's touch on this, because this is a new clothing line that's coming out against surveillance.
I saw that.
It is dubbed it's hide and seek secret camouflage clothing is being created to keep people hidden from creepy facial recognition AI.
Yeah.
And it's glitched out patterns that make no sense, other than it looks like somebody took some LSD and vomited colors on it.
Yeah.
But what it does is it breaks up the
So it looks like
facial.
a sweater, but then it kind of looks like it's like broken up patterns everywhere.
Yep.
And all those broken up patterns on a camera. Well, I thought that was a snowboarder down there. So if you're walking up to a camera, like, don't they have a video of like a guy walking like through the airport?
Yeah, let's see if we can get
And
to play
he's
that.
like, he comes up as like nothing, right? Like, it kind of throws the camera off.
Yep, of course we got ads.
Now, how long will that last? Because how long until they connect Chat GPT 10 to it and it can just be like, oh, we can decipher that. We know who you are. And now because you wore that and you're trying not to be seen, now you're really going on a watch list.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
We're training it. We're training it to.
One of the best ways, here's the example right here, if we can get that.
Oh my God. So it says person, giraffe.
Yeah. So the best way to fight high tech is low tech. And we found that out in the Vietnam War, right?
Do those come in like Lululemon? What is that?
But the thing about technology is when somebody does something better, somebody's going to, on the other side, the opposing side is going to do something better. And then that's how you get advancements in tech, right?
That's capitalism, baby.
But, I mean, that's just innovation.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's competition, right? Competition's
competition.
good.
You can get competition anywhere. So that's very interesting. Now, before we got on the show and we started talking, you were talking about the Fed coming out with an accounting system that's going to do away with Zelle, Venmo. What is that about?
So, and it's called, what was it called?
Fed Now, isn't it?
Yeah, Fed Now. So Fed Now is, so what is Fed Now? I just saw this a little while ago. Through the financial institution participating in Fed Now services, businesses and individuals will be able to send and receive instant payments. So basically, they're coming up with their own PayPal, right? But Fed Now, so the Federal Reserve, I'm guessing, is going to run this. Yeah, federalreserve.org. I don't like that. So are you telling me that I'm not going to have my choice between Zelle, Cash App, Venmo? I mean, look what this current administration already did. If you send anything over $500, they want to see it all. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, do we not have any privacy left? And is anybody not concerned about this? Like, seriously, how are people, especially Americans, like with privacy, and if I want to buy something, it's like, it's not your concern, right? And if you look at, well, we'll get into the new 686 bill here in just a little bit, where they can see all your computer stuff from now on, you know, but Trump's being indicted for paying a hooker, but it's like, there's so much stuff going on right now. And yeah, so Fed Now, they want to have their own payment service. So does that mean that everything that we do is going to go through that, and it's just an open transaction? Like, they can just see everything you do. Is there going to be any privacy in the future?
Well, let's talk about why would they want to do that.
Yeah.
Why would a government agency want to know where your money is going?
Because that's more power. Here's an example, right? After the new California driver's license cards came out, I went to go buy ammo. You have to slide it now. You got to slide your driver's license. And I'm sure that if you buy over a certain amount of ammo, you probably go into a little database. I mean, that's just one example. You know, and that's why people started using Bitcoin, not just for tax purposes, but it's like every little thing that I buy. So if I have tons of ammo stocked up and I have tons of food stocked up and this and that, like, is their plan just to kind of keep an eye on everything and be like, well, you know, this guy's got a lot of this, he's got a lot of that. They got to, you know, we got to keep an eye on them. They look like they're becoming a little prepper country over here, and you get listed.
Prepper country?
Just a little prepper. Like what was it in Oregon?
Survivalists.
Survivalists. You know, what was it up in Oregon? Those people that they basically started their own little country in Oregon, and then it turned into a big old weird orgy fest, and people died. And
yeah, that didn't work out too well for what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
That would look like it was the wrong way to do it.
But check this out. The founder of multi-billion-dollar tech company Cash App, Bob Lee, was fatally stabbed near downtown San Francisco on Tuesday, his family said. Fed Now said, we got to get rid of this guy. Allegedly. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
That's an accusation.
One of the biggest transaction apps just died.
What are the odds, though, that, you know, random killing just happened to be... he's a billionaire, right?
He's a billionaire.
So billionaires, I mean, I can't imagine him just kind of walking around on the streets in San Francisco by himself.
Fed Now was like, hey, you want to jump on this train and give us? He was like, nah. And they're like, okay, stab.
Well, that kind of falls in line with all the crypto millionaires and billionaires that have been found murdered and dead.
Yeah, how many was it? Like 3 of them, like in the same weekend?
Three or four within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's look that up. I can't remember the details on that. Crypto billionaires dying. 5 crypto billionaires and millionaires dead in the final week of 2022. Really? They're just all dead? They all just died? This dude looks pretty young.
They were. A couple of them were. One of them was, I think he was found drowned.
Helicopter crash. Oh my God. Another one was flying. Dude, what the hell is going on? Mysterious deaths.
Check this out. Nikolai Mashigian, the first of the crypto billionaires on the list, 29, co-founder of MakerDAO and the decentralized stablecoin DAI. October 28th, he tweeted that U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies, along with the pedo elite, were going to murder him. CIA and Mossad and pedo elite are running some kind of sex trafficking, entrapment, blackmail ring out of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean islands, and they're going to frame me with a laptop planted by my ex-girlfriend who was a spy. They will torture me to death.
Didn't, what's his name, McAfee?
And he was found dead on a beach near Condado, Puerto Rico, near a $6 million beach house later that morning.
Dude, does that not concern anybody? Somebody is just taking people out.
Somebody or some
entity, I don't know what you call it, because it drives me people when they're like, yeah, they just run everything. It's like, okay, who are they? I'm sure they're just these little pockets of people, whether it's inside the government, outside the government.
While I'm on the page is unresponsive. That means we're getting tracked, I think.
Ooh. Who's that? Co-founder of Hong Kong-based digital asset company Amber Group died in his sleep. Bro, this guy is young. What's his name? Tiantin Kullander. This is a young, healthy, good-looking gentleman who just had a heart attack, I guess. No one knows. Case closed. That's it. No one even heard about this.
And then this fella died after a helicopter he was riding crashed on November, which is interesting. Helicopter crash reminds me of Kobe Bryant.
Dude, you read my mind. Did you hear some of those conspiracies about Kobe Bryant? Apparently, he was supposed to go, look this up. Kobe Bryant apparently was in a humongous lawsuit for some pharmaceutical drug that he owned part of or owned part of the name or something. And he was supposed to go to court with like some huge Chinese company. And then he dies.
So
what the hell is going on?
If you ever watch, there's a documentary on the Daily Wire and I think it's called The Enemy Within, and it's about China connected to our politics, the collegiate system, universities, like big ones, and the funding that these universities receive from China. And it also talks about the NBA and Hollywood. And it's very interesting when they draw parallels to, big time athletes and big time celebrities about how they can't say anything, negative about China.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the funding comes from China.
Well, do you know it's crazy? China's got if people don't think China controls people, look what happened. Who's the wrestler who said something? John Cena.
He actually had to apologize to China. It's weird. I saw the video. He's speaking perfect Chinese and apologizing to the Chinese people.
Perfect Chinese. So John Cena, he said something about, because what is it, like China doesn't look at Korean people, or who was it? Like they don't see a certain type of people as even humans. Like they're less than dogs. I think it's like, is it the Koreans or Vietnamese? I don't know who exactly it is.
It's something right here.
But John Cena was like, yeah, and the Korean people, and China's like, hey, they're not people. They're less than dogs. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I said something against China.
Right here, John Cena apologizes for saying Taiwan is a country.
Yeah, just saying Taiwan is a country.
Here, check it out.
在速度与激情就我做很多采访，很多。
Perfect Mandarin.
所以在一个采访我有一个错误。
He's not reading off shit either.
Yeah, he's off the dome. Which is cool. Like if you can speak another language, that's dope. It's just very interesting that it's
People Fast and Furious 9.
Information. 所以很多采访，很多 information。我有一个错误，我必须说现在就是很重要。
Please keep paying me lots and lots of money.
中国人，我很抱歉对我的错误。
I'm so sorry for my mistake. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. Please don't take away my money, China. I don't make enough here with the WWE.
Of course,
who was the basketball player that got in trouble for saying something against? There was a basketball player too who got in trouble for the same thing. Basically, he wore like some like free Japan or some shit like that, and they were like, "Hey, back in line, or we're gonna cut all your ties off from us." Dude, that is some gnarly shit. So, Kobe Bryant to settle.
Look at this comment. Negative 330 million social credit.
Oh my God. Let's talk about social credit in a minute then, because that ties in to all these cash apps and all these different currencies that we're going to be stuck on one day when the dollar's not here. Let's get into that in a second. So Kobe Bryant trying to settle Black Mamba battle with pharma company. Kobe Bryant is trying to hash out a settlement in the battle with a pharma company over Black Mamba before heading to trial. According to the court documents obtained by The Blast, Kobe is informing the court he is attempting to work out a deal with the pharma company High-Tech Pharmaceuticals over his famous nickname. The document reads, the parties are actively engaged in negotiations. What day did Kobe Bryant die? What day did he die?
Let's find out.
So Bryant has been fighting the pharmaceutical company High-Tech Pharmaceuticals for years. High-Tech has been attempting to trademark Black Mamba. So Kobe Bryant settled Black Mamba with pharmaceutical company. This is January 6th. He died.
He died 20 days later.
Oh my God. Do you think they killed him?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But then who goes?
I don't believe in coincidences anymore, dude.
But then who gets transferred to the Lakers?
I don't really follow basketball. What's his name? He didn't seem like it was a big deal either. People were mad that he didn't like cry or anything at the funeral. That was a whole thing, right? The United States Patent Office and Trademark Office shut down Kobe's motion for summary judgment asking for them to void High-Tech's trademark. Bro, you get into it with a pharmaceutical company and you're supposed to go to court and you die 20 days later?
In a freak accident.
In a freak accident? What?
When was the last time a celebrity died in a helicopter crash? That was publicized.
When Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't want Aaliyah to take Beyonce's spot. Conspiracy.
Oh my God.
I had to.
That was like,
bruh.
that was a nuke.
Damn.
Well, was it? No, Aaliyah was a plane crash.
Yeah, Aaliyah. Or is that what you said when somebody died in a plane crash or just
a helicopter?
Oh, a helicopter crash? I don't know, Alex. You know, it gets tricky when you've ran the same course on your helicopter 1,000 times and you've had the same pilot and it wasn't really that cloudy of a day, but you never know. Some things just randomly don't function well. Some people say that the helicopter was probably controlled by someone else, like a drone.
Hold on. So
allegedly.
Hold on.
These are
Looks
just
like,
crazy people. I don't believe in conspiracies.
So Kobe Bryant, actor Vic Morrow, NASCAR driver Davey Allison, and singer and songwriter Stevie Ray Vaughan all perished in helicopter crashes. Okay, I was reading this. So retired Kobe and his 13-year-old Gianna were among the 9 people killed Sunday in a helicopter crash. So not many. Doesn't look like not many.
Yeah, that's crazy. Have you? Oh, dude, I don't know enough about it, but I've just heard people talk about in interviews about Aaliyah. You know how basically she might have been sacrificed or.
Oh, we're going
deep
on this
somebody took her.
We're gonna piss some people off with this show.
Hey, just go on TikTok and look up Aaliyah. Hey, that's probably why they're trying to get rid of it. TikTok's got the news, bro. You can find some cool stuff on TikTok that you can't find on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. That might be part of the reason why they're trying to get rid of TikTok. What do you think?
You know, we were talking about it before the show, and I was like, you know, if I'm another country and I wanted to destabilize the trust between the people and the government, I would start seeping out information and allowing certain things to fall through. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I did spend some time on TikTok. And the information that was kind of circulating there is very interesting. It's not what you find on Facebook. It's not.
It's a great news source.
You find like a good gray version of it on Instagram, but TikTok, people are.
And their search is so good. They have a YouTube search on TikTok. Like you can find stuff quick.
Yeah, the stuff you find on TikTok is very interesting. It's very interesting, and I view it more as entertainment. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know, just very interesting what's coming out on TikTok. So it would make sense, but the stuff that I also read about TikTok, like if you have TikTok on your phone, then TikTok can have access to all of your emails.
Bro, can't they all though?
I know. Somebody was like, well, isn't that what
one of the guys from the CIA retire, and doesn't he work at Facebook now? Like, come on.
Does he really?
Yeah.
That's
check this out.
News to me.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm like, aren't they, dude, facial recognition. They got my bank accounts. They know all my stuff. As soon as you click, I agree. The first time we got Facebook, bro, they just started tracking us. And when people say things like, oh, you know, well, isn't it true that they're all tracking us. You don't think every time you use Google Voice, they're just saving that data for later so that when they clone you later, they have your voice too?
Yeah, well, Shia LaBeouf.
They're making babies in pouches now.
Shia LaBeouf had that one interview where he was sitting down with like the FBI agent, and they pulled up a phone call of his from like 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. How do you?
And they played it
Where do you store this?
Oh, well.
They played it in front of him?
They played it in front of him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Oh, bro. That's what I'm saying. We don't have a switchboard today, so we're kind of working on the fly, and we just have our one camera set up today. That's why we're coming to you like a couple of news anchors.
Yeah, he exposed the government spying in 2008.
What?
In 2008 on the Jay Leno show. Is this one the short? So if we
TikTok.
I remember we had an FBI consultant on the picture telling me that they can use your ADT security box microphone to get your stuff that's going on in your house, or OnStar, they could shut your car down. And he told me that 1 in 5 phone calls that you make are recorded and logged. And I laughed at him, and then he played back a phone conversation I'd had 2 years prior to joining the picture. The FBI consultant. And it was like one of those phone calls that was like, what are you wearing type of things. Really? Yes, it was mad weird.
Wait, so you mean they had a record of you from
2 years prior to me joining the picture?
even being associated with the movie?
With the movie.
Well, that seems
It's extremely creepy.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's wow. Well, that's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
I'm trying to think of what the last 4 phone calls have been.
That's what I'm saying.
Jay Leno's, he's like, okay, I didn't know we were gonna go that deep. We gotta go somewhere else. Click.
He's like, I'm not trying to get taken out and get my career ruined like you did. Shia LaBeouf was the shit, right? What happened? All of a sudden, nobody liked him. Hollywood, the news, everyone made him look crazy,
Isn't
right?
that weird? What happens when
All
you
of it?
start saying things you're not crazy?
When you start saying stuff like that, you can lose your career real quick.
They did it to
What movie was he in? Eagle Eye?
yeah,
It showed all that shit.
yeah, weird. That's
You don't-
probably the casting that he was talking about, because it was about the movie getting brought on.
Telling you, bro. You say
Dave
shit
Chappelle?
like that.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Oh, here, check this out real quick. Spooks infiltrate Silicon Valley. Facebook is riddled with ex-CIA agents, including President's briefer, who now runs harmful content team. So many ex-FBI work at Twitter. They have Slack channel, and Google is rife with ex-CIA. And this is from Daily Mail UK. Former U.S. government intelligence agents are now working across Silicon Valley.
That just
So-
had a bank collapse.
So when you retire, oh God, we're gonna get into that too. So when you hey, we don't need you here. We actually need you running the harmful content team at Facebook.
And it's called the harmful content.
So what is the difference between ex-CIA and FBI agents working at Twitter and and Facebook? But we're all focused on TikTok, bro. I can give a fuck about TikTok. They're all watching us. Why does it matter? The only thing I've noticed lately is that when you want to find something quick that YouTube might not let you show, or people are afraid to talk about things now because you get demonetized, right?
Yep.
So if you get demonetized, you don't get paid. And if you don't get paid, then we're not talking about it. Because I want to get paid for this episode, but we've probably already ruined that. So people stay in line because, with all 8 of our people watching, with all 8 of our views.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, so if you do that, if you keep people in line and say, if you say this, demonetized. On Instagram, oh, you just got a strike, or you just got this. I can
Or
go
you
on
get shadow banned. And you
shadow
don't even know
banned.
it.
People have actually, people were like, oh, shadow ban's a conspiracy, but people have actually shown like their stats. And then it goes from this, and then it just, boom. But so you're telling me, and then so if I go on TikTok right now and I look up some crazy news, like, the oil tankers that just blew up, right? Or all these weird, crazy things that are happening. I follow journalists on there. Journalists post things on TikTok because it doesn't make it to Instagram anymore.
Do you know what?
And who owns Instagram?
Yeah.
Facebook.
Do you know who or what profession I think is the most dangerous right now?
Journalism.
Journalism.
And I don't even know.
I would say journalism. And then if you're, a truth teller in politics, I think you got to watch your back.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Because one occurrence is like, okay, maybe not, whatever. But you start getting 2, okay. When then you have 3. 3's a direction. 3's a direction. And this isn't just coming from one source or 2 sources or 3 sources. This is coming from an array of sources,
Yeah.
which is very, very disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, so you got with people controlling. So back to earlier, you brought up the banks failing, right? So SVB, Silicon Valley Bank, went under. That is the tech bank in Silicon Valley. There's a lot of money in that bank. And remember, Alex, your money is only insured up to $250,000 through the FDIC credit limit. So if you got $1 million in the bank, you're insured up to 250. That's not good. And why is that? It's because when you put $1 in the bank, they can turn around legally and lend out 10. And that's why I keep my money in life insurance, because they don't just sit out here and lend my money out. So my money's safer there. Anyway, now nobody could have seen this coming, right? Except the CEO who sold over $2 million in stock a couple weeks before SVB Bank went under. How pissed would you be if the CEO started selling stocks and then now your money is locked up and that shit has failed? How mad would you be, right? I guess the regulators missed that one.
Yeah. And you can't, I don't know. I don't think
they were named one of the top banks, dude.
Yeah. I don't think you can quantify the damages because a lot of that was company money. Right? Like, so I'm in the solar industry. There's a solar lender. I'm not going to say their name, but it's a specific solar lender. And it sounds like Funlight.
Oh.
But it's not Funlight, but it sounds like Funlight. And it's solar, so it has to deal with sun, right? Contractors are moving away from them because the lenders are the ones that have to finance the operation. I didn't get all the juice. I didn't get all the details, but one of the owners of the contractor company that, does a large portion of our business, they're like, oh yeah, we're completely detaching from them right now. And it's not just them, like a bunch of contractors. So anybody that's kind of tied to that bank, it appears, and this is just one case, but that institution, they're putting out millions and millions of dollars for solar jobs. Wow. Your average solar job's $50,000. Doesn't take many to get to $1 million. Does not take many.
Yeah.
So you have people starting to pull away. Now, right here, how much money is actually lost in SVP? According to 7 sources, and this is on Bing, $1.8 billion. SVB announced Thursday it had suffered a tax loss roughly $1.8 billion after it sold approximately $21 billion of securities in an attempt to raise cash quickly amid challenging market conditions. I'm not too well versed in that.
Well, check this out.
I don't know the implications, but right here, the market reacted sharply and SVB lost over $160 billion in value in 24 hours.
Wow.
Oh.
So
that
goes right back to Fed now.
Solve, a lot of world hunger, man.
Well, check this out. That goes right back to Fed now. That's what it's called, right? The new app that's coming out. Fed now. Guess who took over the bank to save it? The Feds. The Fed stepped in, took over SVB Bank, and renamed it. How convenient. And now, Fed now is going to come out, and they want to have their own Cash App type of deal.
Yep. Now, real quick.
They're just coming in and saving everyone. Well, how convenient is that? But the bigger issue than that, Alex, is that Trump paid a hooker.
He paid a hooker.
While this is happening right now.
But didn't Bill Clinton do that while he was in office and there's no...
Oh, God. Can we get the list of names for Pedophile Island already?
Oh.
I don't care about Trump.
Don't you know it?
I want the names.
Don't you know it was released? It just wasn't released to the public.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was released, but not released. Real quick,
let's talk about some of the implications of SVB. Oprah. So this is at Global Community Weekly. I haven't heard of them. I don't know how credible the source is. This came out March 11th, 2023. And the title is Oprah's Broke, Stands to Lose $590 million from SVB's Rapid Implosion. Oprah stands to lose $590 after collapse. Harry and Meghan are broke now too.
Oh no.
And
don't say that.
Yeah, Harry and Meghan Markle, the royalty? Oh, royalty's broke.
Oh, I'm sure they're broke. Everyone's going to feel terrible for them. Start a GoFundMe.
Can I just continue reading? All her biggest accounts were with the bank. Like other tech-savvy investors, she banked with SVB, and now it's all gone. Let's see. Harry and Meghan stand to lose millions and collapse as well. This is a major blow. They had all of Harry's money in there. Oh. What?
And the Fed came in and scooped it up just in the nick of time.
So does whoever owns the money owns you, right?
It's their bank now, dude.
So if the Feds
well, hey, Alex, all the money's gone now, but it's okay because we're going to transfer all your money. We're going to give you all your money right back, except it's just going to be digital. So it's going to be even better, right? Because it's digital. Now we don't need to have the money. We don't actually need money in the bank. But don't worry, Alex, because if you check your phone right now through FedNow, you have your $1 million in digital currency. Okay, but if you're a naughty boy or you don't do what you're supposed to say, the next time you go to try to log in, your login's going to be gone and we're going to Andrew Tate you, and you're not going to have Instagram, Twitter, Uber. You're just going to be locked out of everything. Well, then how do I pay for things? Because, 10 years from now, there's not going to be any dollar bills laying around. I'm going to walk into Costco and say, hey, I really need some water and food. Okay, cool. Here's your money. Oh, we don't take that anymore. We don't. Do you have your phone on you, or do you have your watch? Can you scan it? Well,
do you have your chip in your hand?
I was a bad boy, so I'm locked out of my phone right now. Like, bro, that's just where my brain goes, right? That's just me. I guess I'm just an overthinker, even though, people think I'm crazy for investing my money in insurance and gold, and now the banks are failing.
So
I'm crazy though.
This kind of takes me back to the podcast that we just talked about, The Last of Us, when you had an entire collapse of a civilization, and then you come back and you're like, okay, do we try and build back to where we were?
Dude, do I sacrifice my new daughter now for this shitty world? I wouldn't have.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
There's a lot of weird things going on. Now, human nature, and if you look at the history of human nature, it tells us that tragedy and necessity are the biggest indicators of change. Mm-hmm. For the better, right? Because tragedy or necessity, you just, lost a kid, or let's see, how do I say this? Tragedy, you lost a kid, you lost a family, you lost a limb, something like that. Something bad happened, so you have to change. Mm-hmm. Necessity is, okay, we have to go to war.
Yeah.
The war part isn't the tragedy. It's the aftermath in the middle of the war that are the tragedies, right? Mm-hmm. And it also depends why you go to war.
Yeah.
Some cultures are like, we're going to war, and that's, it's a positive for them because, they could gain something from it. So it's all through the lens of perspective. Now, when you have all of this going on, all of the accidents that we have, when we talk about accidents, the train derailments, the entire Central Valley being flooded, large parts of farmers' crops, and, not many people know this, but the Central Valley of California is one of the biggest agricultural fertile lands and exporters of fruits, nuts, vegetables, a lot of the stuff that people eat.
Yeah, we're not just known for meth.
Yeah, well, you got some good meth here, I would know. So,
She's being honest.
I'm just being honest, man.
Go read his book; he'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, thank you. It's coming out in April.
All the meth.
Talk about all the mess. Yeah, did I show you the cover?
Yeah, everything's underwater right now. So we got eggs are gone.
Milk's getting thrashed right now too.
Milk's getting thrashed. All these food supply chains are blowing up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but
good God.
Unfortunately, like I was saying, human nature, they need tragedy, they need necessity to forge new change. Like if you look at what happened after the world wars, well, one of them got us out of, the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. But then we had, the Roaring 20s. And after every war, which if you study the cycles of war, I think, except from World War I and World War II, usually, I think it's on about every 20 to 30-year cycle, you're going to have some major conflict, right? Well, 20 years ago, we had Operation Desert Storm.
Yeah.
Right? No, Desert Storm was in the 90s. We had the War on Terrorism, which started September 11th, early 2000s, right? And, that's kind of been going on forever. Wasn't until just recently that Biden pulled everybody out.
But what else comes out of these tragedies? A new leader.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody with some hope. And every time I think about all these, as soon as I see all these tragedies happen with the milk and the eggs and this and that and the banks, Bill Gates comes along and goes, well, it's okay, guys, because a couple years ago, I invested billions of dollars into cricket protein.
Not even cricket.
It's like, oh, you don't say.
Meat.
You just have the answer. Kind of like you already started investing in mRNA technology before all this. Man, you're just our savior, dude.
Yep.
It's like he just gets so lucky. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now you have artificial meat companies.
Meat without slaughter.
Now you have homegrown. Well, I don't want to say homegrown because it's not homegrown. It's
What a coincidence.
factory. That's taken process to a whole new level.
Hey, real quick, you want to hear something cool about some coincidences?
Oh,
Andrew Tate just got out of jail. I'm surprised we're not talking about that. Andrew Tate and his brother.
As soon as you just said that name, this is going to be shouted out.
Oh, God. I'm going to walk out. And
This whole episode is for naught now. We
All
talked
right.
about the Clintons. We talked about China, and now you brought in Andrew Tate.
Well, that's all right. We don't get
episode
paid for
is-
this anyway. I'm just going to post it on TikTok.
This
So Andrew,
episode
so
is
check out
screwed.
coincidence, right? Because I don't believe in coincidences at all anymore. Andrew Tate was released from jail. Do you know the date he was released?
Tell me.
The date he was released is exactly the date, well, except the year, that The Matrix came out.
What?
Same date,
March 29th?
March 29th, 2023. Put Matrix. When did The Matrix come out? Matrix release date. Is that the first
No,
one?
that's not the first one. That's
When's the first one?
Matrix 1 release date. March 31st.
No, I think he was released.
Release date March 24th. In some parts, March 31st. What was Tate's?
March 29th?
March 29th. That's pretty close, though.
All right, I saw something the other day, and they were both March 29th. Here's an accurate coincidence.
Well, maybe, I don't know. That's within 2 days. What about leap year? Like maybe it's the exact same day, just different date.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's not touchscreen.
Hey, yeah, don't touch my screen.
Who is the genius, the guy in the wheelchair? What's his name?
Hawking?
Stephen Hawking. What day did he die? Check this shit out. This one is accurate.
March 14th.
What is 3.14, Alex?
Pi?
You don't say. What day did Einstein die?
3 March 0.14.
What day did Einstein die? Or no, I'm sorry. What day was he born?
So he died April 18th.
April 18th. But what day
March
was? Well, okay,
4th.
I'm sorry. What day was Einstein? What day was Einstein born?
March 14th.
3.14.
So if you want a very smart kid, get a C-section on March 14th.
Bro,
Make sure that's the date for your child.
is that not the weirdest shit? So Stephen Hawking dies on 3/14. What was the date?
March 14th.
3/14, whatever year it was. 3.14 is pi, mathematical equation, pi. Albert Einstein was born March 14th, 314 pi. That is some weird shit. I don't care what anyone says. No coincidences anymore, dude. I don't believe in them.
So if he was March 14th, 1879, I wonder what other very intellectual people were born on Albert Einstein's death day.
I don't know, but that's some strange shit to me, dude. Yeah, so if you want your kid to be a genius, make sure he's born on the 14th.
Of March.
There's probably someone watching this going, my kid's born on March 14th. He's a dumbass.
Well, if he's a kid, smart kids are dumbasses in the beginning.
True. He's probably going to, now that I said that, he's probably going to cure cancer in like 10 more years and watch this and be like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah. It just takes the right spark to blow that genius up.
Yeah, we'll go down the numerology hole next time.
You know
I'm
what?
super into it, dude. I haven't even proposed to Raven because the last year was my enemy year. And I was like, nope, nothing in my enemy year.
Yeah. Don't do
Literally,
that.
that's how serious it is. But Andrew Tate's out. That's interesting. I wonder what he's gonna do.
You know who's actually great to watch on, similar topics that we talk about, but from more of a professional and neutral standpoint, because obviously we kind of came in with some bias on this one, and I didn't even know we were going to talk about all this stuff today. This was news to me.
It's super random. Today.
Patrick Bet David.
Oh, his is the best.
He is got some good stuff going on. I think it was him who had some expert of body language. Oh, maybe it was actually Patrick. Yeah, I think it was actually him talking about body language, poker.
Oh, he's all about it.
Reading people's eyes and truth telling and things like that. And he watched the release tape of Tristan and Andrew, walking out, being released back to the public.
Body language.
And he was watching their body language and he was breaking down their eyes. And he's like, do you know what I see? I see strategy. I see ferociousness. I see these guys are like ready to go to battle. And I see truth.
They're planning their next 15 steps, right?
They're like, these guys are like, watch out, ready, be ready, because these guys are going to come out with a vengeance.
Well, that's the scariest thing. That would be the scariest thing to me, is a guy that thinks how Andrew Tate thinks. I mean, did you watch him play chess against guy on the TV show, British dude? They were playing chess, and Piers Morgan. And apparently, I looked up, Piers Morgan's actually a really good chess player. I say he's really good. And Andrew Tate is talking to him the whole time, talking shit, and then just goes checkmate. And it's like, a dude that can think that fast, you just gave him a couple months by himself to think.
Not just a couple months. He had some time in there.
And they were just holding him, right?
He had some time in there. And that's dangerous when you isolate a mind. Like, okay, because we were just talking about Einstein. So Einstein's story, when he graduated to college, university, blah, 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 a lot of people didn't really accept, his theories or anything like that. Do you know where he worked for, I think, more than a few years?
Shoe factory?
Just about. Mailroom.
Oh, I was going to say, there's not many jobs back then, right?
Yeah, he worked in a mailroom.
Yeah.
So imagine locking a brilliant mind in a room where he completes all of his work in 2-3 hours, and he has 5 hours to sit there and just
doodle on paper.
That's where where some of his greatest thoughts originated from.
Damn.
So now you do something like that with somebody who's a strategist, because that's what Tate is. He's a strategist.
Yeah.
Systems.
He's like a think tank, dude. He is the war room, pretty much.
Systems, operations, and strategy is how that man's mind operates, right? And he got that from his father. Now you just blocked him away with his best friend, his brother. I don't know how much contact they had. I don't know if they had cells next to each other, if they got time.
I'm sure they did. It didn't seem like a very big jail.
Yeah, well, it wasn't prison.
Yeah.
Right, it was jail.
Yeah.
So imagine where his mind went, processing power. And I think that was, somebody else said that, somebody who I think was Muslim, and they're like, God locked him in there so he could read the Bible and he could think. And I was like, ooh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
I'm telling you, dude, that whole thing was weird. And Andrew Tate, he does say some crazy shit, right? I don't agree with everything he says.
Well, you know why he does it, right?
Because he's getting views and he's getting the attention. I don't even think most of the shit he says he agrees with. But did you ever watch the Vice documentary on him? Andrew Tate has a Vice documentary. It's called it's called like The Next Rise of Andrew Tate or something like that. Vice did it. And they sent the kid in to basically just walk around with him, check his house out, check out his, they have a little, they do their ceremonies and, people pay like $5,000 to go watch him talk and be part of the war room. Well, the funny thing is when the cameras are on, he's talking about talk G and blah, 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 and we're going to do this, and you got to make the money, and he's got this persona, right? And as soon as the camera, and he's even like talking shit to the kid, and that's all right, you don't make money, but you will one day. And then as soon as the cameras are off, he's totally cool with the dude. He's like, hey, you're not bad, man. Like, this whole thing is, it is what it is. He's like, come over to this room, check this stuff out, check out my office. And the guy, and even the kid was like, he was a little different when the cameras were off. I was like, well, no shit. You don't think, do you really get the views and people sharing your stuff like he does without talking quick, saying crazy stuff? and saying things that most of us agree with, but he just says it a little bit. He could say it better, when he talks about the status of men and his woman is his property and this and that. And it's like everything he's saying, it's actually not that far off. Like when you look at dudes on yachts, even guys like we used to hang out with in San Diego, people that own these huge businesses, they do act a certain way. Mm-hmm. They know that they are of a higher status. They have multiple women. They usually have kids with a few different women because like they don't want to be held down. And like he said, and it's the same way with women as well. Women of higher status that are prettier, more value, they're picky and they're many. A lot of the stuff he says, he's not really wrong about. He just can, it's kind of like Trump. It's like most of us kind of agree with what he's saying. He could just say it a lot better.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing that I don't think many people consider is, yes, we all share this world together, but we live in very different worlds.
Yeah.
How multi-decamillionaires and billionaires, how they live their life and what's socially acceptable for them isn't for the masses. It's a complete level of different thinking. And
we don't understand. We don't own a yacht. I don't know what it's like to own a yacht and have that like.
But you don't know the yacht is the result. You don't know the hard work, years of decisions and fight and grit that a person has to go through to attain that.
Yeah. And I'm sure they are a no fuck around mindset. So when you get them on YouTube to actually talk about it, I'm sure it's going to come off like, dude, I've worked with people like this. These people of really high status, a lot of money, they don't have time to fuck around. Like when these really wealthy individuals come into our office and talk to our advisors, you can just tell it's business. And then after that, they'll hang out like almost like the last 5 minutes when you're done talking about business and where they're going to put their money this year and they're going to invest in this and they're asking our advisors, well, if I do this or, am I going to break this tax code? It's all business, right? They don't mess around. They're not joking. They've got, they got to get on the plane, go back to LA or San Diego, wherever they're going. And then after they're done talking business, then they kind of ease up a little bit. But after that, you're just like, that's a different type of dude.
Yeah.
That's a different type of animal. He's running businesses. He's worth billions of dollars, millions of dollars, whatever it might be. And you can just tell they're just a different type of person.
Yeah, that's that. Another thing people need to consider is if you're going to put somebody like Andrew Tate under a microscope for how he acts on camera, then you have to take a look at celebrities and politicians.
Well, that's why they have coaches, right? Don't say they have publicists.
Media.
Don't say this. Don't say that.
It's what they're trying to do with Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
They're trying to censor Peterson. Now, for how somebody acts on camera versus how they are in real life, well, you're not in their social circle.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to put one under the lens, you have to put all under the lens. Like if you look at somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, solid dude, love him on camera. However, he dismantled DCU Universe by himself.
And I don't know what he's like off camera. They're actors.
Yeah. But when you look at the beef that, Vin Diesel had with him, but then it's not just him, but then when you start reading the articles about how he tried to make the entire DCU universe revolve around Black Adam.
I heard that movie sucked.
And then I was ass.
I heard it sucked. I didn't even
some
watch
of the fight scenes were cool, but when I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
but
he's doing too much.
He completely just dismantled it. He ousted Shazam.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, you got to read the article. You got to read what happened. And then he was also kind of a party to some of the things that happened with Henry Cavill. Although he did fight to have Henry Cavill brought back, there's some stuff that So it's how people are on camera and how they're off on camera, especially when it's geared towards getting attention, which obviously worked for Andrew.
Yeah.
And Tate ended up building, and I don't think many people know this, but he has an online university which teaches you how to do crypto, which teaches you stocks, and like he brings in all these experts.
He's teaching you how to really get off the grid, how to get passports, how to all that crazy.
They
shit.
had before they shut. I think because somebody went in and shut his system down. Somebody, but before they did, he had like 200,000 people across the world tuned in, and it wasn't a lot of money. Yeah. It was like, I think when it launched, it was like $40 a month.
Wow. Now it's like $5,000, I think, to get in.
I don't know exactly how much it is. I don't want to throw a number out there, but $40,000 to get some of the top people that are in there. He owned one of the largest universities in the world.
And you know why people really get in those universities? It's not because I give a shit what he says. Why do people go to the best colleges, Alex? Connections. Right here.
Yes.
So if this guy knows billionaires across the world, and I'm a banker, I'm an insurance guy, I'm a builder, I'm an oil guy, whatever it is, I'm getting in on that university to go to the dinners. I'm going to rub shoulders, just like politicians, and that's what I think normal people don't understand. It's not always what it looks like on the surface. It's not always what it seems. There's a reason why. It's kind of like the race thing, right? We were talking about race the other day. To me, I don't believe in race. I only believe in culture. And I think we are, at the end of the day, we're really divided by knowledge, your IQ. Dumb people think this way. Rich people think this way. Rich people spend their time doing this. Broke people spend their time doing that. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So people can't really, it's kind of like with taxes, like unless you've been a business owner, you don't really understand money, taxes, capitalism. People can say all these things they want. I remember I got into an argument with one of the teachers at the college I went to. He was a business professor, teacher, whatever. Dude, we got into it one day, and I was like, how many businesses have you ran? Well, I've been part of. I was like, I'm just going to stop right there. And I walked out. I didn't walk out, but at the end of the class, I never went back. And I literally just dropped out of class. I was like, this is dumb. Well, I've learned everything about business through my parents and through the advisors that I work with now. And most of the people even teaching this shit, they don't understand it. So when everyone has an opinion on something, you got to look at, I don't know, is it rich and poor, dude. I don't see color. I see green. That's all I see.
Where's the money going?
Where's the money going? People with more, like I remember growing up, me and my buddy were talking about this the other day. Growing up, the nicer neighborhoods didn't give a shit about race. If the dad was Mexican and his daughter was Hispanic, the boyfriend was black, not a big deal. You're both 14, 15. Oh, they're going to the thing together at high school. That's cute. Oh, Asian dad, white kid. No one gave a shit. The deeper into the hood you went, the more racist everyone got. Like Filipino dad, as soon as I showed up to take his daughter out, he was like, who the fuck are you? I was like, oh, I'm Damon taking it. Slam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a Mexican dude, pulling up to take out someone's black daughter. Oh, we're going to well, why can't he be black? It's like, bro, people and like I said, in the higher end neighborhoods that I hung out in, these people didn't give a shit. And I was like, growing up, I was like, oh, we're divided by our IQ scores at the end of the day. Because most people don't give a shit about
financial IQ scores.
Financial IQ. If you have a higher IQ, you're usually more financially stable. Well, I've just noticed that's how people think.
Well, okay, so we'll talk about the IQ, right? Your intelligence. Mm-hmm. Higher intelligence people understand that, like things like racism, all that's a human construct, right? It's bullshit.
Dude, I've talked
to me, racism is. This is my opinion. It's a primitive way of thinking.
It is.
That is what happened thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years, whatever.
It's how you keep the masses in check.
If you have a problem with stereotypes exist. I'm not saying that they don't.
Yeah.
But if you have a problem and you're going to hate on a race, well, do you use products that race produces for you? Mm. Do you eat food?
It's all about status, right?
Right? Like if you love strawberries, but if you don't like the Mexicans, like the Mexican population,
Are you saying only Mexican people pick strawberries? No, but the majority of them do.
Well, I live in the Central Valley.
racist.
I live in the Central Valley, and you know, one of my partners in the solar industry, he came from working in the fields.
That's what I'm saying. But people get so hung up.
So you know, there's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to stuff like that. But racism
And people that are broke
all that
talk about it more often.
primitive thinking.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to that, you got some soul searching to do.
Yeah. And I've talked to people, black, white, Mexican, Nigerian, Filipino, people with higher IQs that just aren't stupid and worry about petty shit. They make good money. They drive nice cars. They don't care about this shit. Well, I'm not going to just hire him because he's black or he's white or he's met. They're like, I'm trying to hire the best guy for the job.
Like, can you get the job done? Yeah.
And look at our administration right now. If you are transgender, it doesn't even matter. And I don't even care. Like, if you're the best person for the job, go get it.
And your heart's in a good place?
But if we're just hiring you just because we're trying to be, bro, what are we doing?
Well, that's like a reverse racism.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, you know, discrimination and prejudice, that's saying, no, you can't come play kickball with us because you are this.
Yeah.
Well, the reverse is that of like, oh, we have to include you because you are this.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and this is just how my mind works, I have a very difficult time discerning the difference.
I picked the best people in kick for dodgeball when I was in 5th grade.
That's how it
I
works.
was the captain. I wanted this dude, and that dude. Yeah, there were 2 girls standing there. Sorry, I'm going to pick these 3 dudes because we're about to kill this shit right now.
Yeah, but that was back in the 90s. You can't do that anymore, right?
I'm just saying.
That's
how it was.
That's how it was.
Yeah, you think the girls were picking me for softball? I can't throw a ball. They're like, oh, Damon's tall, but I want these 2 people on my team because they kick ass. Damon, we're going to use you out here. All right, well, at least I know my place. I suck. So
You know what's funny?
I got it.
I
get it.
I was one of the guys I was always picked last. I sucked at sports when I was
Yep, because when you played softball for the next day at recess or whatever it was, the girls got to pick because these girls were the captains and we didn't get picked or we only got picked for these spots. They were like, you guys go out there. You're no good in here. You guys can't throw a ball. You can't pitch. You can't. And we were like, all right, whatever. We knew our place.
We'll go play handball or whatever it was.
We knew our place.
Tetherball. Go play tetherball.
All right, let's wrap it up. I don't know. I think that's all I got. This was a super random one.
What do you mean that's all we got? We touched a lot.
Well,
and we could probably go down way more rabbit holes. I found this one article
let's break this one off at an hour so I can actually upload it in 5 hours on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. I found a couple articles. I was like, we're not going to go down those
let's hit that one in a second.
No.
Well, we will be back.
No, we're not doing that.
See ya.